poked the wrong bear, SEC, and now you get the big bite. And no, I'm not talking about Bear Bryant, who's probably pissed off listening to the malarkey surrounding his program from the college football grave. But do you remember when Nick Saban retired and everyone said, well, this is the end of the dynasty. It's going to be a new era of SEC football. No more Alabama to worry about. The Saban tax is gone. Now they're going to feel the pain that we felt for years. And Kalen DeBoer heard all this because he also was told he has no experience down here and said, okay, bet. And lo and behold, going into the month of July for the start of SEC Media Days with 16 teams, Alabama has the #2 recruiting class, and they are not slowing down anytime soon. Not too bad for somebody who doesn't have any SEC ties. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Welcome on into SEC Unfiltered. It's Cole Thompson here. Make sure that you like the video, hit the subscribe button because we're talking college football every single day leading up to week 1 and well throughout the chaotic 2024 season. Download the podcast version of the show. That way you don't miss a single episode of SECU. Leave a 5-star review if you love this type of content, 1-star review if you hate this type of content. Make sure you're following us on all the social channels, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at SEC Unfiltered. You want to scream at me for being an Alabama grad and having my homerism show off? It's at Mr. Cole Thompson. And to keep up with the #1 content surrounding your favorite squad, make sure that you visit SECUnfiltered.com. This episode's brought to you by RHOBACK. Use promo code SECU for 20% off all joggers, polos, hoodies, shorts, much, much more. Promo code SECU at RHOBACK.com. Seriously, I don't know what type of veteran juice is flowing through the veins of DeBoer, but he is acting like somebody who has been here before. And this is a big deal because Alabama has done a great job of landing premier players. I'm talking legit superstars. In the last 48, 72 hours, depending on when you watch this, they have landed 2 elite standouts in 4-star tight end Caleb Edwards from El Dorado Hills, California, who picked the Crimson Tide over Oregon, Texas, and Auburn. And then later, they also picked up 5-star edge rusher Justin Hill, who chose Alabama over Ohio State, USC, and Oregon. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, let's start off with the fact that Alabama was going through a culture change. Nick Saban did his own mantra for 16 plus years. Everyone knew what was expected down in Tuscaloosa when he was running the show. And so naturally, when he decided to go ahead and hang up the whistle, go join Miss Terry and eventually the broadcast booth at ESPN, many people thought, well, what's this program going to look like? Mostly recruits were asking themselves, what is Alabama going to be underneath Kalen DeBoer? And then you have to realize that Alabama was also now no longer going to have the luxury tax. And that does exist. Many people don't want to believe it, but much like Deion Sanders being able to get Colorado ranked in the video game well outside the norm, there were players that never cared about the product on the field at Tuscaloosa. They didn't care about Golden Flake. They didn't care about Bryant-Denny Stadium. They didn't care about Ramajama. They didn't care about the town. They didn't care about the ambiance. They wanted to play for Nick Saban. So that luxury tax went away to where now kids were saying after a mass exodus in the portal, I'd rather play in front of my hometown fans. I'd rather play closer to my family than play for the Crimson Tide. And here comes Kalen DeBoer, who walks on in and has no recollection, no correlation, no connection to the Southern region. And naturally, fans didn't learn anything from the likes of Brian Kelly 2.0. Yeah, remember when BK came on down here and had that My Family Foghorn Leghorn style, I said, son. And then he proceeded to go get double-digit wins back-to-back years. Yeah, no correlation to the Southern region. He knew how to recruit and he knew how to build a staff, which is a major underlying part so far for DeBoer. People don't realize that he was able to bring in names that had a great understanding of the region, including his defensive coordinator, Kane Womack, who recently just coached at South Alabama down in Mobile. Another major asset that people seem to drastically understand and forget about is he hired Courtney Morgan to be his general manager. I politely don't know where you guys come from saying if you don't understand or respect Courtney Morgan's game, I did not know that he could play like that, and neither did you, because the man has been absolutely lining up recruit after recruit after recruit to build this system. And does it help that having Saban around the general vicinity is great? Yeah. But according to multiple reports so far, all we've heard is that Saban's kind of stepped away and let DeBoer run the show in his image. And what's that done? Well, it's allowed him to trust his recruiting assets. It's allowed him to trust his system. It's allowed him to trust his players and his personnel to land superstars at certain positions. let's go look throughout the state of Alabama, and let's go look throughout the southern region. They were able to go ahead and bring in Daryl Johnston, a linebacker 4-star from Eastman, Georgia. They were able to go ahead and get Derek Smith, a safety from Selma, Alabama. They went and got a defensive lineman, Antonio Coleman, 4-star talent from Saraland, Alabama. They went and they also got Anthony Rogers, a 4-star running back from Carver, Montgomery, Alabama. They were able to add in all these players. But also, there's that part about the West Coast, Best Coast. Remember when everyone said that Kalen DeBoer only knows how to recruit on the West Coast? Yeah, and it played into his factor, because what did he do? He landed a 4-star cornerback in Dijon Lee, who is a superstar, the number 4 player at his position. He also was able to go ahead and land Dawson Merritt, a linebacker out of Stillwell, Kansas. He also landed Chuck McDonald, a 4-star cornerback, the 13th player out of Mater Dei, Santa Ana, California. And he just got Caleb Edwards. He also was able to go get Jackson Lloyd, a 4-star offensive tackle from Carmel, California. He also was able to go add in players such as Michael Carroll, Jaden Harmon, Micah DeBose, all throughout the country. And so the experience of him having people that understand the lay of the land, the foundations and the hotbeds, not just out west, but also in the southern region and the northern parts of the United States, has created a melting pot in Tuscaloosa. And the other part that's really important here is that Kalen DeBoer is a winner and a program builder. Maybe Rome won't be built in a day, and maybe Alabama won't win the national championship in year 1, but everywhere he's been, not only has the program been better for it, but it's also grown and adapted. Look at his time in Sioux Falls. He won 3 national championships. He also had 3 undefeated seasons, and he never finished below double-digit wins. His 2 years at Fresno State, he went 3-3, which was 500, to 9-3 outside of a COVID year. Back-to-back 11-plus win seasons at Washington, and he finished with a Pac-12 title and a spot in the national championship. Since joining as a head coach in college football, he's 104-12. What are we talking about? And also, you got to throw in, this is still Alabama. Alabama may lose the Nick Saban luxury tax, so a 5-star actually has to pay attention to NIL at this point, but it's still Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's still Dixieland Delight in the 4th quarter. It's still going to Rounders and Innisfree and having Publix off of University Boulevard. It's still eating messy fries at Quick Grill. It's still partying on the quad before game days. It's still the Walk of Champions. It's still the atmosphere of screaming, hey, we just kicked the hell out of you, every single Saturday inside of the cathedral known as Tuscaloosa's Haven. And Saban dominated there. But that doesn't mean that you take away the Pope, that you're not going to get another one. We see smoke rise from the ashes every year in the Vatican City that they have to make a new election, and that's all that happened in Bryant-Denny. They found their successor for Nick Saban. And so far, he's been terrorizing on the transfer portal trail. He's been building up the foundation when it comes to the recruiting ranks. He has a top 2 class, and there's a very good shot they finished at number 1. Alabama right now has 9 blue chip players in less than a month. That's what they've brought in. You don't do that if you're not good at your job. Yeah, does it help having the script day and having the background and boosting of Alabama? Yes. But it also says something about Kalen DeBoer and the fact that he knows how to handle business. People were so ready to go ahead and pull the wool over everyone's eyes and say, Alabama's not going to be back. Well, here's the problem, people. Alabama may not be the number 1 team in the country year 1. They may take at least a season or 2 to hitch their wagon, find their stride, and eventually take flight. But make no mistake, they got the right coach. They got the right personnel. They certainly have the right GM in Courtney Morgan, who, again, I did not respect your game, Courtney, and I don't think most of the country did either. And now they have the right pieces in play to be able to hold their own and hoist up a national title. Don't look now, but sooner rather than later, the Crimson Tide will be back in the postseason and more than likely in a national championship. Let me know in the comment section down below, where was I wrong on Alabama? Are they going to fall apart at the very last second? Are they going to be good in 2024? Like, rate, review, subscribe. Make sure that also you're following us on all the social channels, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at SEC Unfiltered. Download the podcast version of the show. And to keep up with the #1 content surrounding your favorite team, make sure you visit SECUnfiltered.com. I'm Cole Thompson. Until next time, folks. Later.